Hello and welcome to my OktoberFestAthon TBR. I have a lot of books on it. I want to complete the 33 castles or buildings or fortifications, however you want to name it. I want to get all of them free, and with all your help we can do it, but I had to lead by example, right? So let's get right into it. By Robert Schneider. I have the Offenbarung, or the Revelation, however you want to call it. It's about a new or not earlier found piece of music composed by, what's his name? Johann Sebastian Bach. And there's some mystery attached to that music, and the guy who finds it, he's an unknown musician, but he thinks I can get very wealthy or very rich if I say it's my own work and just run with it. That's the concept of this book. Then by Thomas TBR, I guess I can pronounce it. It's Corona, and it talks about a party going to a place somewhere in Africa, and they make some discoveries. They found some ancient ruins, and after a couple of weeks, I think they are there, they start to face some unnatural phenomenons, and eventually they realize they have traveled to another dimension but don't know how to get back to Earth. I like these other books and really hope this one will live up to high expectations. Bastian Fitzek. I have the Therapy, and this is about a psychiatrist whose daughter has been missing. Daughter is missing and no one knows what happened to her. A couple of years later, a girl shows up and she knows some details about what happened to his daughter, and the story goes from then on. By Petra Hamenvaar, I have what's the German name? Die Chefin, or the she-boss, whatever. Anywho, this is about an ambitious woman, and she and her husband do own a company, and when her husband does some shady stuff with the company, she decides to, I get rid of him because he's a danger to the company and I want the company to succeed. During the investigation, the policeman who is investigating the probably murder, he falls in love with her, and some conflicts there, and the story goes on for there. So really. By E.W. Heine, I have Papa Vera, and Papa Vera is a YA book set in the Middle Ages. Papa Vera is a girl and her father is missing, and her mother died, and she is now the ruler of a castle, a castle called Valkenburg, Falkenstein, my bad. And when she doesn't say yes to love intentions from Count, he claims she's a witch, and from then on she has to leave and yeah, she's just on the search for her father, and she eventually goes through all of Europe because this one probably is set in Germany, and she goes to the Holy Land just to find her father and what happened. And along the way, she meets some quite interesting people. And yeah, the whole title of the book is Papa Vera, the Ring of the Crusader. So there's a ring with some mysterious inscriptions, and that's her only clue. Then by Nele Neuhaus, I have An Unloved Woman, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, and this is the first book in the Kirchhoff and von Bodestein detective duo. And Nele went huge when her fourth book in that series, Snow White Must Die, became a bestseller. And I haven't read any of the books, so really want to find out if it's great or not. And find the lifeless body of a young woman, and the two detectives, so Van Bodestein and Kirchhoff, they're going to discover what happened to the body and who's behind all of it. Like I said, it's the first book in a series that's very long ongoing, I think. I think there are already 8 or 9 books out. And I really want to find out if it's a new all-time favorite for detectives. Then by Jörg Karstner, I have Thorak the German, or the Germaan, mother. This is about one of the early German tribes, or they were around. It's set in while the Romans are fighting over in Germany, and this is somehow based on some facts and some speculations of whatever have happened. And it's part of a series. I only have book 1 and really want to find out. And it said it's talking about the very moving history of Germany. So right for OktoberFestAthon, isn't it? Then I also want to try some fantasy. I've heard a lot about that it's very generic, and really want to find out if it's true or not. So the shortest one I could find by a German author is by Markus Heitz, and this is the first book in the Dark Era time, or whatever, and it's Shadows Above Uldart. And really don't know what's it all about. I know it's a series with 9 books in total, and this guy is the one who also famously wrote Dwarven series, and haven't read those yet, but they are all above 600-700 pages, and this one's only 350, 380. 400 years ago there was a dark era, and it's still not forgotten. And some Dark Lord made a pact with the ghost of evil, and that's why there's darkness, war and suffering in the whole world. And now we follow some 15-year-old, and probably he'll do something as the chosen one. But that's just speculations, and I just want to find out if it's good or not. and if it's worth reading the whole series. Then by Arno Strobel I have Magus the Brotherhood. And this book, there's a new pope elected, and minutes after he's presented, this is the new pope, he's been murdered. And the murderer doesn't want to speak to anyone, only to a certain bishop. And we find out there's also a secret society who wants to make the Third Reich happen again. So a lot of people were in power during that era in World War II. They traveled somewhere in South Africa and they trained a military group. And eventually that group wants to get power through the church, and when they have everything in power there, they want to take over the world. That's about it. Really don't know anything about the author. It said this was his breakthrough book, and yeah, hopefully it's good. Koes Schulte van Drag. I have Furor, and this is about a neuroscientist who finds a method to capture all memories a human has, and to, let's say, install it on a computer or see everything about it. Only one day he's been murdered, and his son finds out what the method is his father used, and together with a journalist he decides to find out who murdered my father and what happened to him, and maybe even discover how he made that scientific breakthrough. And 2 books by Philip van den Berg. This is Keizer and Cleopatra, or Caesar and Cleopatra. And this is more reconstruction of what happened during their era, and what was their relationship and what was going on, and all the intrigues and complots for the murder of Caesar, Marcus Antony, and did Cleopatra either commit suicide or not. Everything is mentioned in this book, so this is more scientifically trying to reenact whatever happened. And you can also see there's some of these things and a lot of scientific mentionings. So yeah, more of a non-fiction read, but very interesting, I think. And this is rather so this will be a fiction one, and this is about some guy in ancient Rome, and yeah, he's about to become a gladiator. And this is set in the first era, or in the 1st century after Christ. So Pompeii is still there, but not for long. And yeah. And last but not least, I will read the fairy tales by the Brothers Grimm. And you can think, well, that's a very short and small book, but it almost has very thin pages indeed, and it has some 390 pages, So yeah, really discovering and yeah, reading all of their classic fairy tales and find out if they're good or not. 13 books I will try to read during OktoberFestAthon, and I think it's only 17 days, so almost a book a day. Yeah, wish me luck, and hopefully everyone will enjoy OktoberFestAthon, and yeah, see you in the next video. Bye!